Jake Wells was an unassuming Texas farmer who on June 18 at 3:12 a.m. drove his battered John Deere straight into a cartel-controlled warehouse and walked away with $6 million, plus intelligence that would bring down corrupt officials from Laredo to Washington. For 2 years, Jake had watched as expensive SUVs slipped down his rural county road toward an abandoned grain silo. Inside that building, cartel agents stashed massive cash shipments bound for Mexico. One night, while repairing a fence, he overheard their Spanish conversation, millions moving through his pepper farm, hidden in plain sight. Before I walk you through the full story, I just have a small favor to ask. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments. What city are you watching from? It's always amazing to see how far this audience is reaching. What those gun-toting traffickers didn't know was that Jake was no ordinary grower. A former CIA operative, he'd been quietly dismissed from service in 2015 under mysterious circumstances after a botched mission in Moscow. Stripped of security clearance and respect, he retreated to his inheritance, a failing farm and a fractured relationship with his son Justin, who hadn't spoken to him in 6 years. Yet Jake's tradecraft never left him. He spent months staking out the silo, mapping guard rotations, taking notes on camera placements, and shadowing cash runs twice a month. Jake also discovered the remnants of an earlier surveillance effort, a battered notebook belonging to Maria Santos, a DEA agent who vanished 8 months prior while probing the same site. Her last entry read, "They know I'm here." On study, her notes revealed that the cartel wasn't merely storing bills. They kept lists of informants, undercover agents, and corrupt lawmen, files far more valuable than any stack of $100 bills. To disable security, Jake enlisted Cole Martinez, a farmhand and IT enthusiast, to upgrade the silo's cameras and alarms. Cole thought he was protecting Jake's equipment. He never suspected he was aiding the biggest cartel heist in state history. On the prearranged night, Jake used a copy of the warehouse key, made when he volunteered for electrical repairs, and Cole's backdoor access code to slip inside. Over 11 minutes, he loaded 6 armored boxes of cash and 3 encrypted hard drives into a van hidden in his barn. Then he swapped the real boxes for identical decoys filled with sand, lit a tire fire to mask smoke signatures, and melted into the darkness. At first light, cartel enforcers discovered the ruse. Cameras had been reprogrammed. The vault bore only the imprint of a lone cowboy hat. Furious, Security Chief Carlos Mendez unleashed teams that scoured every farm within a 20-mile radius. Jake's CIA instincts told him to play the hungover farmer. When 2 operatives posed as insurance investigators at 8:30 a.m., he oozed confusion in pajamas, blaming the tire burn on clearing brush. Their tire track suspicions were mollified by a story of borrowed trucks and farm chores. An afternoon escape to an Oklahoma motel nearly failed when Deputy Tom Morrison, on cartel payroll, pulled him over for DUI. Reading the code words in Morrison's radio chatter, Jake disabled the crooked officer with a swift nerve strike, recovered his radio, and vanished into back roads. But a gas station pit stop in Arkansas nearly unmasked him again. A suited stranger recognized his face from a $50,000 bounty poster. Without hesitation, Jake plowed his pickup through the station's window, creating chaos and slipping away into a rural maze. While the cartel stretched its resources chasing him, Jake waged a quieter war. He anonymously tipped off honest FBI agents about Special Agent Robert Chen, a mole selling sensitive case files for $500,000. Within days, grand juries were impaneled and congressional hearings loomed, paranoia strangling cartel-fed lawmen. Under the cover of that scandal, Jake converted his $6 million into gold, cryptocurrency, and offshore trusts, then slipped across a remote border crossing into Mexico. In Mexico and Central America, he procured a new identity from master forgers, then re-emerged in a small coastal town as David Romero, a retired businessman. With judicious investments in local real estate and a quiet pepper farm of his own, he blended back into rural life, this time on his own terms. The cartel, decimated by internal investigations in U.S. prosecutions, never realized the full scope of Jake's coup. Back in Washington, hundreds of corrupt agents, politicians, and lawmen faced charges from the files Jake unleashed. His former accomplice Cole Martinez, revealed to be an undercover FBI agent, escaped cartel captivity during a federal raid Jake orchestrated with a timely tip. In one encrypted message, he heard, "Thank you for the rescue. Intel files are destroying them." Jake's final act was a coded email to Justin, buried in photo metadata, a picture of Dad on a sunlit beach, clutching a red pepper. The embedded coordinates pointed to his new home, but only his son could decode them. Whether Justin ever responded remains unknown. Jacob Wells, the simple farmer who stole 6 million cartel dollars and exposed a nation's corruption, vanished from all records. The grain silo is now a shopping center. The pepper fields sell groceries. Yet his legacy endures, a testament that a single determined and brilliantly trained individual can topple titans of crime and conspiracy, rewriting the rules of justice one stealthy heist at a time. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one.